Hello everyone, I am Xerix Lord Sentinel, and welcome back to Century of Economy. We are rapidly heading for the endgame. Prepare! The Trinidad sinks the Superior easily, and destroys the trading port on Kanohi Island to boot. The Trinidad is given an extra action and sails forward, catching the Gauntlet, President, and Kentucky in her sights. A full shoot action later, the President and Gauntlet are sunk, and the Kentucky is derelict. The Munin is sunk, along with the USS Falcon, but the Mano de Dios has been dismasted in the process. Like using a missile to swat a fly, the Grand Temple, the Corazado, Algeciras, and Armada all converge on the Loki, sinking the longship instantly. The Temple sails on, using her reverse captain and SAT to get the jump on the USS Emerald, dismasting her. Not recognizing the difference between a Spanish-controlled American ship and an actual American ship, the Cursed sink the Destiny and the Blackwatch. The Americans have few ships left. The King Jones sinks the Emerald and the Harlequin. Shalbala and Angelica face off, each attempting to see who flees first. The rest of the pirates prepare guns and cannons, in case Shalbala becomes hostile. The Cursed battle fleet has mostly turned around, with the Cursed not interested in fighting the pirates and potentially the Spanish at the same time. The Americans were determined to fight until the end. Fighting crew had been placed on almost all their remaining ships, including the Spirit. With the speed of a clipper, she sailed broadside to the Trinidad, in an attempt to damage or stall the Spanish dreadnought. Something incredible happened instead. With all rank 4 cannons, the Spirit went 2 for 4 to take the Trinidad to 3 masts. The Spirit was given an extra action and went 4 for 4 to sink the Trinidad. The Louisiana, Silver Dollar, and Frontier all sail out to battle the pirates. The Frontier does not have accurate cannons, but does have mines, and plays the UT to help her out. The Rampage was feeling confident, but was then swarmed by the Americans and some of their ships that were already in firing position. The Americans have reduced her to 2 masts standing. The Mississippi has taken the Kentucky under tow. The pirates steamroll over the American resistance. The Louisiana, Silver Dollar, and Frontier are all sunk by the Zeus and the Revenant. In the foreground, the Americans have launched one last capital ship to try and keep enemies away, the Excelsior, with Fire and Steel Montana Mays, a helmsman, cannoneer, oarsman, and Gus Schultz. Realizing that the Rampage is in trouble, the pirates attempt to save her. The Nene Nui is sunk by the Deliverance, but it may not be enough, especially if the Rampage stays put. More pirate ships come through the whirlpool, including their hired mercenary cancellors. Some of their ships are attempting to get home or to tutorial to put out fires given to them by the Americans. The Dragon standoff continues, though at this point the Dragons seem to behave like friends that have not seen each other in years. The pirates' position at tutorial is possibly the weakest it has been all game. All of their fleet armor crew are in the vicinity of the island, and only 2 flotilla protect it. The Kanohi Dragon weighs in on the situation, bringing a second canceller to the area to provide some cover for the Rampage. The Deliverance has used Ghost Ship to maneuver to get both the Mississippi and Spirit in her sights. The Mississippi is dismasted, and the Spirit is taken down to 1 mast standing. The Galle is dismasted and La Possession is sunk by the Signet. A good portion of both the English and the French fighting ships are either sunk or already in the water. The Apollo sails forward, sinking the Galle and crippling the Monarch. Given an extra action, the Apollo gets up close and personal to the Monarch, dismasting her, and sinking the Soleil Royal. The English have secured the western half of the portal, as well as much of the portal itself. The eastern side of the portal, however, is still very much French territory. Not to mention, Paradis de la Mer still stands. However, the English have a solution for that problem, as the Endeavour sails through the portal, sinking the Grand Vanqueur and damaging the Notre Dame. The Lady Provost emerges from a whirlpool in French waters. The flotilla she tows is not actually French, but is the English Eincrad. The English crowd through the portal. one of the Apollos makes room next to the Endeavour as she emerges. The Lady Provost makes for the French home island, relying on the flotilla to protect her. The French strike back, sinking the L.E. Apollo. Elsewhere, the Notre Dame and others have dismasted the Endeavour. A wide shot reveals just how back and forth and how quickly the battle and war have progressed. In vengeance, the Spanish sink the Spirit. The Spanish are considering pressing their attack, but are unsure how the pirates will react if they do. La Fuega sights the Bellevue and sinks her, sending Admiral Preble to the depths. The Oregon is sunk by the Acrazado Nuevo, who crossed her stern. The Acrazado Nuevo is sunk by a broadside attack from the Flying Dutchman. The Rampage thought she was safe, but did not count on the ability of the Sea Wind, giving her decent to accurate cannons. The pirates did not have the wherewithal to cancel the ability, but it would not have mattered much, as the Sea Wind went 3 for 3 to sink the Rampage. The Congress engages the Revenant and sets another pirate ship on fire. Emboldened by the axe of the Sea Wind, the Sea Strider and Argo get into position to fight the pirates. Unlike the Sea Wind, their efforts are in vain. The pirates strike back. The Revenant leaves the Congress to the Accused, Jape, and others, who successfully sink her. The Excelsior had tried to engage the Kanohi Dragon, but did not count on her canceling ability, freezing her in place. On their turn, the pirates cancel Gus Schultz's Eternal and sink the Excelsior for good. In the background, the Argo has been sunk, Sea Strider has been dismasted, and the Sea Wind is down to one mast standing. The Scarlet Star docks at the American home island, and with her home island raiding ability, loads as many coins as possible. The greedy men that they are, the pirates take the most valuable coins, the special 100 value coins that the Americans had. The Star is given a fleet action, and sails to cover behind the Zeus. This was the pirate plan, and more raiders are on their way. The Gallant sinks the Conquerant as the English try to regain their foothold on the eastern side of the portal. An Apollo engages La Aube, sailing broadside to the French warship. The Leicester emerges from a whirlpool in French waters, her assignment to escort and protect the Lady Provost on her way to the French home island. The English plan to raid the French for their gold. The Eincrad dismasts a French runner as the Provost is almost docked at the French home island. The Provost sails between two docked ships and grabs the most valuable coin on the French home island. The English make a statement, as the Legacy returns to the battle zone and sinks the Monarch, Le Lion, and La Ville de Paris. The Legacy can be seen on the bottom left, and the Dreadnought has finally arrived in the upper right. A wide shot shows that the English presence is now the strongest it has ever been around the portal. Ships crowd both sides of the portal, and the Endeavour has slipped into the fog on the left. The Leicester follows the course of the Provost, spreading chaos as she goes, dismasting 2 ships and nearly sinking the Lee Blue. Paradis de la Mer still stands, though not for much longer it seems. Fighting is beginning to shift away from the portal and focus around the fort and its island. The Albe and the Apollo are engaged, but neither has damaged the other. The Viceroy has been sunk by the guns of the fort, and the Bonaparte will be an interesting challenger for the English to deal with. The French continue to fight back. Here the Notre Dame sinks the Richards in the portal. The Auckland is caught between what's left of the Sabre and the Bonaparte. The English hold suddenly doesn't look as strong. Surprisingly, the French do not attempt to capture or fight off the Provost. The Bonaparte was given a second action and with a successful ram, dismasted the Legacy. At the end of their turn, the French launch, putting some of their last warships into the water at their home island, trading port on Flattop Island, but mostly at Paradis de la Mer on the front line. The Bonne Chance, with Fleet Admiral Jean Lenoir. The Guillotine, with Captain, Helmsman, Firepot Specialist, and Oarsman. La Corse, with Captain Louis Lefebvre, Monsieur de Ants-le-Haine, helmsman, and oarsman. The Gaul, with Captain Arzieur, helmsman, and 5 oarsmen, towing the Mont Blanc flotilla. The Genrevier, with Lieutenant Capitaine Jean d'Arc, cannoneer, musketeer, and double-shot. The Petit Canon, with captain, helmsman, cannoneer, and oarsman. The Auguste, with captain, helmsman, musketeer, and oarsman. The Jaguar, with captain, helmsman, firepot specialist, and oarsman. And La Lion, with captain, helmsman, firepot specialist, and oarsman. Like the Americans, the French are beginning to scrape the bottom of the barrel for available ships. Icebergs strike the pirates, damaging the Orca and a Harbinger, and damage the Dragon's Breath as well. The Spanish are still seeking vengeance for the Trinidad, but it is fading, especially as the pirate presence grows. The Premier Caballero sinks the Sea Strider. Heedless of the pirates, La Fuega slinks in and sinks the Sea Wind. Using an extra action, La Fuega sails forward and successfully rams the Lynx. In the ensuing boarding action, George Washington LeBeau was killed, eliminating the last fleet action crew of any kind for the Americans. Furthermore, this left them with less than 10 viable ships. A massive reckoning at the Spanish home island, overflowing with medicine and several thousand gold. The New Orleans sails out to challenge the pirates, damaging the Wicked Wench. The Constitution and Lynx make their final repairs and prepare for the end. The Dark Fox makes land at Pyramid Island, hoping to explore it before she is destroyed. The pirates have no mercy and eliminate the New Orleans with ease. Meanwhile, the Mystic docks at the American home island and loads 1 coin. Vezok used his copying ability to become all-powerful and got a 6. The pirates used it to have the Guishan open fire on the Spanish trading port at the Medicine Island. Even with their mostly accurate cannons, the Guishan is unable to destroy the port, severely damaging it instead. Leaving the shelter of the fog, Jean Lafitte makes land at the contested island and raises a pirate fort there once again. The Leicester goes unopposed in French waters, attacking gold ships and sinking La Dijon, Le Mercure, and the Intrépide. Emerging from the fog, the bombardier sets the Tempest and La Sarine aflame. The Lady Provost has decided not to press her luck and has fled, sailing south into Spanish waters. Here she passes the Guichen on her way. Micron has made a deal with the pirates behind Stafford Whitley's back. If the pirates can make a whirlpool for the Provost, the English won't attack the pirates. The bombardier is sunk by the Tempest. The Aube has won her duel against the Apollo, sinking the English warship. The Notre Dame has made port at Paradis de la Mer, and the Gallant has been sunk. However, the Lord Algernon looms large, having just emerged from the portal. The French are undaunted, as the Jaguar and La Lion sink the Algernon, and the Gaul sails to the far side of the portal to establish French dominance. And that wraps up this report. The endgame is here, with only a handful of turns left. The Americans have been all but eliminated, and all the other factions are too shattered from their various conflicts to put up much of a fight. Who will emerge the victor? If you want to see what happens next, make sure you're subscribed. If you liked what you saw, hit that like button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.